Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Friday, November 18th, and this is the NBA DFS video for today. So in today's video, we'll be taking a quick look back at yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about the injuries in play for tonight's slate. I believe it's 11-game slate overall, so a lot bigger than it was yesterday, obviously, when we only had the 3-game slate overall. Then going over to DraftKings and FanDuel and talking about my core picks for tonight's slate as well. But without further ado, we'll get started with a recap of yesterday's picks. At the point guard position, we had De'Aaron Fox at $9,000 on DraftKings. So we were looking for 45 points on him. He got to 46.75, so he was a good hit yesterday. Then in shooting guard, we had Jaden Ivey at $6,900. Looking, for 34, 35 points on him. He got to 29. He ended up being a miss, but not like the complete end of the world yesterday. It wasn't bad by any means, just wasn't quite what we were expecting out of him. And he's been playing rather well without Cade Cunningham around in the lineup. Then at small forward, we had his teammate in Bojan Bogdanovic, who was $6,200, looking for 31 points on. Got to 38.25, so he ended up being a hit yesterday and a pretty good one at that. Then at power forward, we had Harrison Barnes at $4,900, looking for 24, 25 points on. He got to 33. Obviously played pretty well in the absence of Keegan Murray yesterday, and he was a hit as well. Then last but not least, at the center position, we had Jakob Poeltl at $7,200, looking for 36 points on. Only got to 27.75. He unfortunately ended up being a miss. He only played 27 minutes in this game, and it was a pretty good blowout as well. So if you don't have the blowout, probably plays 3 to 5 more minutes. Maybe he gets to the point that we were looking for out of him yesterday, or at least close to that push territory overall. But with that being said, DraftKings pretty decent day overall. Ivy and Jakob Poeltl were kind of the big ones there. Obviously, if you wanted kind of the best lineup yesterday, you need a little bit of De'Aaron Fox, a little bit of Malik Monk, probably Damian Lillard, as well as Bogdanovic and Harrison Barnes. Royce O'Neal was definitely up there, as well as Ben Simmons. Then on the FanDuel side, we had Damian Lillard at the point guard position at $9,000. We were looking for 45 points on him. He got to 46.1, so he was a hit. Then once again, we had Jaden Ivey, his $6,800, looking for 34 out of him. On FanDuel, he only got 26.3, so he ended up being a mess. Not the best day for him overall, and obviously turnovers hurt you a little bit more on the FanDuel side. At small forward, we still had his teammate in Bojan Bogdanovic. He is $5,800, looking for 29 points out of him. He got to 38.1, so he was a really good hit on the FanDuel side. Then at power forward, we have Marcus Morris, $5,500, a lot more reasonably priced on FanDuel overall, looking for 27, 28 points out of him. Got to 24.7. He ended up being a mess. He was 6 for 15 from the field. Played pretty big minutes still. Kawhi Leonard did end up playing in this game, so maybe that affected him just a little bit. And, going into the day, we didn't really expect Kawhi to play. And even at that, we weren't sure if he was going to start and how many minutes he was going to play. And he actually ended up playing 25 minutes. So it did make a little bit of impact overall. And then obviously Paul George did end up playing as well. Then last but not least, at the center position, we have Marvin Bagley at $5,700. We're looking for 28, 29 points on him. He only got to 11.6, so he was a miss. Only ended up playing 23 minutes in this game, 1 for 5 shooting from the field, and just was not that good overall. So a little bit unfortunate with some of the misses on the FanDuel side. If you had some other good plays, you still had a decent chance of cashing yesterday. Myself, I was able to double up on the FanDuel side and double up on the DraftKings side yesterday, although didn't have too much exposure to guys like Royce O'Neal and Ben Simmons, who kind of were the leading stars of the day overall for their price tags. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to the injuries in play for tonight's slate. So once again, I believe it is 11-game slate overall. We only have one game starting right at 7 o'clock, which is the Miami Heat and the Washington Wizards. The Miami Heat are without Tyler Hero, Victor Oladipo, and Omar Yurtseven once again. Udonis Haslem is listed as a game-time decision. He's been dealing with some personal stuff. He probably doesn't play either way. Bam Adebayo did miss the last time out, still listed as questionable. He has a left knee contusion, I believe it's his left knee. Dwayne Dedmon, questionable to play, dealing with some foot issues himself, although he was able to play last time out. And then Caleb Martin got banged up the last time out. We'll see whether he plays tonight or not. So it could be a little bit of value opening up on this Heat team overall. Then on the Wizards side, they are without DeLon Wright once again. And then Jonathan Goodwin listed as questionable to play. If he doesn't play tonight, Monty Morris is going to get some extra minutes, and him and Bradley Beal might kind of stagger at kind of that point guard position overall tonight. So we might see a little bit more Monty Morris when Bradley Beal's not out on the court. So maybe that helps him just a little bit overall. Then when we move over to our 7:30 games, so we have the Charlotte Hornets, who are without LaMelo Ball, Cody Martin, and Mark Williams. And then we have Dennis Smith Jr. and Gordon Hayward, both listed as doubtful to play tonight. So we know probably 4 of the starters for the Hornets tonight with Terry Rozier, Kelly Oubre, PJ Washington, and Mason Plumlee. Theo Maledon is listed in the expected lineup. I do expect it to be Jalen Daniels who makes the start with Terry Rozier starting at point guard instead. So personally, I would be more on the Jalen Daniels train if I'm trying to play one of him and Maladon, but I think a lot of people are going to be on Maladon tonight overall. And then for the Cavaliers, we got Ricky Rubio and Dylan Windler both listed as out. Dean Wade is listed as doubtful once again. And then we have Jared Allen listed as questionable to play. He did miss the last time out with an illness. We'll see if he's good to go tonight or not. Obviously, if he doesn't play, Kevin Love is going to look a little bit better as well, although we did see Lamar Stevens start the last time out too. Then for the Milwaukee Bucks, they're without Pat Connaughton, Joe Ingles, Wesley Matthews, and Chris Middleton all once again. Drew Holiday still listed as questionable to play. He is dealing with an ankle injury. Grayson Allen is expected to return to the lineup tonight after dealing with his own ankle injury as well. Then for the 76ers, we got James Harden out once again. Furkan Korkmaz and Jaden Springer both listed out as well, but neither one of them are really playing a big role in the rotation either way. Moving down to the Orlando Magic, we have Cole Anthony, Paolo Banchero, Markelle Fultz, and Jonathan Isaac all listed as out once again. So Banchero being listed as out right away at the beginning of the day is kind of something of interest. Sounds like Gary Harris and Wendell Carter Jr. should both be returning today. Mo Wagner has kind of resumed basketball activities, but it's likely he's out once again. Then for the Bulls, Lonzo Ball is out, and then Patrick Williams and Kobe White both listed as questionable to play. Patrick Williams did get hurt the last time out, and Kobe White's missed 5 or 6 games at this point in time. Then we move down to the Pacers, who are without Chris Duarte and Daniel Tice once again, so no real changes there. For the Houston Rockets, Jayshawn Tate is out once again. And then we have Bruno Fernando and Kevin Porter Jr. both listed as questionable to play. Obviously, if Kevin Porter does not end up playing in this game, Jalen Green's going to look even better, although he looks pretty good already. And then whoever ends up starting in that lineup would look pretty good as well. Then for the Oklahoma City Thunder, we have Darius Bazley and Trey Mann both out once again, so no real changes there. For the Memphis Grizzlies, Desmond Bane, Danny Green, and Zaire Williams are all out once again, so no real changes from the last time out. We did see Jaren Jackson return to the lineup, play about 25 minutes, and didn't look too good overall, so not really chasing him tonight, although some people may be. Then for the Boston Celtics, we have Danilo Gallinari and Robert Williams both out once again. Marcus Smart listed as questionable to play, dealing with his ankle injury from last time that caused him to miss. And then Malcolm Brogdon also listed as a game time decision, expected to play returning from his hamstring injury, so he could be of interest tonight if he is playing and Marcus Smart is not. And then for the Pelicans, EJ Liddell is out once again. Zion Williamson still listed as questionable, dealing with his foot injury. For the Denver Nuggets, this is probably going to be a big value spot tonight overall, since Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray are both in COVID protocol, so they will not be playing tonight. Colin Gillespie is still out. Ish Smith is doubtful. And then Aaron Gordon listed as questionable to play. He is dealing with an illness that's supposedly not COVID related that caused him to miss the last time out. So Bones Highland's going to look pretty good overall. Michael Porter Jr. should look good overall, but he's coming off a very, very poor performance. DeAndre Jordan's still reasonably priced. And then Aaron Gordon, if he does end up playing, could be a value as well. Then for the Dallas Mavericks, Maxi Kleber is listed as out once again. JaVale McGee is listed as expected to play tonight. We'll see if he makes a big impact in the rotation overall. And then we have Reggie Bullock listed as questionable to play tonight as well. For the Phoenix Suns, they are without Landry Shamet, Cameron Johnson, and Jay Crowder once again. So no real changes there. Chris Paul still listed as questionable to play. Sounds like he has a chance to play tonight. If he does not end up playing, campaign looks pretty good once again. Josh Okogie is listed as questionable to play as well, but not anybody that was particularly good for DFS either way. And then for the Utah Jazz, Rudy Gay is out for tonight's game. And then for the New York Knicks, Mitchell Robinson is questionable to play. If he does end up playing and getting pretty good minutes, he is reasonably priced on both sites, though. Then for the Warriors, we have Andre Iguodala listed as out. Jonathan Kuminga listed as questionable. He was dealing with an illness last time out. Then the Detroit Pistons, looks like Cade Cunningham and Isaiah Stewart are both going to be out once again tonight. Just keep an eye on that just in case anything changes, since it is playing on the back-to-back. For the Lakers, Max Christie is out tonight, and then we have Juan Toscano Anderson, LeBron James, both listed as questionable to play tonight. Anthony Davis is listed as probable. And kind of the big news overall is Thomas Bryant and Dennis Schroeder are both available to play for this game unless something changes throughout the day. So just keep an eye out on that overall. Lakers team might not be quite as much of a value as in recent days. But with that being said, this is a quick little rundown on all the injuries in play for tonight's slate. Obviously, we're looking at a couple different ones throughout the day. Mitchell Robinson, Chris Paul, Aaron Gordon. Those are going to be some big ones there. Marcus Smart, if he ends up playing, Zion Williamson. Kevin Porter Jr. is going to be a really big one, especially for Jalen Green. And then obviously Drew Holiday is going to be a big one. Jared Allen and Bam Adebayo as well. So there could be some value opening up throughout the day. If anything major changes throughout the day, I will list it down in the comments, as well as all the other injury updates as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to DraftKings and talk about my picks for tonight's slate. So at the point guard position on DraftKings, we're going to go with Bones Highland. He is $5,000, so it's not like a super crazy value as it would be compared to some other slates since he's been playing pretty well as of late. We're looking for 25 points. He's averaging 25 on the season, and that's not even starting and playing big minutes. Currently, I'm projected for 27, 28 tonight, but definitely has a ton of upside for more as well. Then at shooting guard, we're going to go with Jalen Green. He's $6,500, looking for 32, 33 fantasy points. He's averaging 34 so far in the season. Currently, I'm projected for 35 tonight. Obviously, he's been doing a little bit more as of late, which I also talked about the last time out since he was in my core. If Kevin Porter Jr. does not play in this game, Jalen Green's going to look very, very good and probably going to be pretty popular overall. Then at small forward, we got Michael Porter Jr. He's $6,200. We're looking for 31 fantasy points. He's averaging just over 29.5 so far in the season. Currently, I'm projected for 32 tonight. Definitely has a ceiling for more, and he has some downside for less as well, as we've seen in the most recent game. But most people are probably going to be looking at that and not playing him tonight. So looking for a nice little bounce back on him and trying to gain a little bit of ownership as well. Then at power forward, we have Bojan Bogdanovic once again, $5,800, so he's actually cheaper than he was yesterday. Looking for 29 points out, have him projected for about 30-31 on the DraftKings side tonight. Obviously, we saw upside for more as well last night, but with no Cade Cunningham, he's looking pretty good overall, since Detroit does need people to score the ball. Then last but not least, we have Joel Embiid at that center position. He's $11,300. You're looking for 56, 57 points on him. He's put up monster games in back-to-back games. Typically plays well against the Milwaukee Bucks, so that's definitely favorable. There's no James Harden. His usage rate is off the chart without James Harden out in the court. Currently, I'm projected for 60 points tonight, but definitely has a ton of upside for more as well. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here, you have $15,200 remaining, just over $5,000 per player. So there's not any like true values tonight in this core 5, and we're already paying up for Joel Embiid, so maybe I have to get a little bit more creative than we would on other slates, but definitely some decent values tonight. Maybe it's a balanced build for the rest of the way. Maybe you sneak in a DeAndre Jordan, who's relatively cheap, and then pay up a little bit at some other positions as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my picks over there as well. So on FanDuel, we're going to start off at point guard, and we're going to throw Jalen Green in the point guard spot on FanDuel. He's $6,500. Looking for 32, 33 fantasy points out of him. He's averaging 32 so far on the season. Currently, I'm projected for 34 on the FanDuel side tonight. If Kevin Porter Jr. does not end up playing, he's going to look really good and probably going to be pretty popular overall once again tonight. Then at shooting guard, we have Dylan Brooks, and the price tag between him on DraftKings and FanDuel could not be any more different. On DraftKings, it's $6,400, not a good play at all. On FanDuel, it's $5,000, looks like a pretty decent play. Looking for 25 points out. I'm currently having projected for 27 tonight. Obviously, Jaren Jackson being back hurts him a little bit, but Desmond Bane being out kind of neutralizes that as well. If his shot's going in tonight, it's going to look pretty good. It's a pretty favorable matchup against the Thunder as well. And then we move down to small forward once again with Michael Porter Jr. He's $6,200 on the FanDuel side as well. Looking for 31 points on him. He's averaging about 28 so far on the season. Currently, I'm projected for 32 tonight. Obviously, has a ton of upside if he's playing well. And without Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic out there on the court, he's probably going to have to take a bigger step up. And as long as the ball's going in for him, unlike it was the last time, he's going to have a pretty big day overall. Then we move down to power forward once again with Bojan Bogdanovic. He's $5,800, looking for 29 points out. He's averaging just under 27.5 so far on the season. Everything I said on DraftKings still applies. Coming off a big game, it's a back-to-back. I don't really worry about that with Bogdanovic. No Cade Cunningham, most likely once again tonight, taking that extra step up. Currently, I'm projected for 30 points. Definitely has some upside for more as well. Then last but not least, we're going Joel Embiid. Once again, he's $11,200 on FanDuel, looking for 56 points out of him. He's averaging 53.5 so far on the season. Coming off 2 very monster performances. There's no James Harden, so his usage rate is off the charts when he is playing without James Harden. Definitely going to be a strong play tonight, and I currently have him projected for 60 points, but definitely has a ton of upside for more once again as well. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed, you have $25,300 remaining, just over $6,300 per player. So definitely a couple different ways that you can approach the slate, whether you're building a balanced build, whether you want to stick in another star player or a higher placed player like maybe a Giannis. My optimal build this morning actually does have Joel Embiid and Giannis in the same lineup. paying down for some other values, and then kind of going from there. But with an 11-game slate, you do have quite a few options out there, and there could be some other values that do open up throughout the day as well. But with that being said, these are my core 5 picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel for today, November 18th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to note if those questions are more focused towards DraftKings or FanDuel, just so I can best help you. And then also be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's on FanDuel or DraftKings, whether it's someone from my core 5 picks. Maybe it's a different player that you guys think I missed. Definitely interested in hearing what you have to say. And then as always, I'll be listing all the injury updates throughout the day, as well as most of the starting lineups, at least the early ones. And then with that being said, I'll be posting an updated core about 20 to 30 minutes prior to lock if there's any changes throughout the day, or as those changes do become available. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewer, helping you with your DFS. Right now, it's NFL and NBA DFS. Unfortunately, was not able to do the NFL Thursday Night Football live stream yesterday, but we'll be catching up on that for Monday and Thursday night next week. Hopefully having the NFL DFS Core Pick video out later today or tomorrow, as well as my cheat sheets over at WeBetATS.com. And then with that being said, if you're a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post a new video. Like I've been saying, I do daily NBA DFS picks Monday through Friday, just like this, as well as the NFL DFS content. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.